In the last episode, our group had just emerged victorious, but the weight of our losses still lingered. We had secured a crucial win, but the journey ahead would test our resolve, courage, and ingenuity. As we regrouped and tended to our wounds, a mysterious message arrived, offering a glimmer of hope and a new direction. A chill ran down my spine as I read the message, my eyes scanning the cryptic words. We were being summoned to the long-abandoned Aetherian outpost hidden within the treacherous Undercroft. I felt a shiver at the thought of navigating those labyrinthine tunnels, teeming with unknown dangers. My thoughts were interrupted by Kael, his voice low and urgent. "We need to move, Alex." "We can't let this opportunity slip away." I nodded, my mind racing. "What's the plan, then?" We gathered around the makeshift map, studying the tunnel network. Lyrien, the brilliant explorer, pointed out several entry points. "We can try to enter here or here. Both routes have risks." I looked at Kaida, the resourceful scavenger. "What's your take on this?" She hesitated. "I've been in those tunnels before. They're treacherous. We need to be prepared for anything." As we prepared to depart, a sense of unease settled over me. The Undercroft was a graveyard of failed expeditions. Many had ventured in, never to return. The air seemed to thicken, heavy with foreboding. I pushed aside my doubts, focusing on the task ahead. We had to reach the outpost. As we descended into the Undercroft, the earth trembled beneath our feet. The sound of shifting stone and creaking metal filled the air. "Seismic shift," Lyrien warned, her voice tight with concern. "We need to find shelter, now." We sprinted through the winding tunnels, searching for a safe haven. The ground buckled and heaved, threatening to swallow us whole. "In here," Kael yelled, grabbing my arm and pulling me into a narrow crevice. The tunnel shuddered, rocks tumbling around us. When the chaos subsided, we found ourselves in a cramped, dimly lit chamber. We caught our breath, listening to the aftershocks. For a moment, we were still, but our reprieve was short-lived. A low rumble echoed through the tunnel, growing louder. "Subterranean creature," Kaida whispered, her eyes wide. "We need to get out of here." Without hesitation, we readied our gear, preparing to face the unknown threat. The creature burst into the chamber, its massive form undulating through the darkness. In the heat of the battle, I felt a spark of hope. We might just make it through this after all. But as we emerged from the chamber, battered and bruised, I couldn't shake the feeling that we were being herded toward some unknown purpose. The mysterious ally's message still lingered in my mind. What secrets lay hidden within the Aetherian outpost? As we pressed on, the shadows seemed to deepen, and I sensed we were being watched. I spun around, but there was nothing there. "What's wrong?" Lyrien asked, her voice low. I hesitated. "I don't know. I just feel like we're being pulled into something much bigger than ourselves." The air seemed to vibrate with tension. I knew then that our journey was far from over. The real challenges lay ahead, and I steeled myself for what was to come. The darkness seemed to coalesce into a presence watching us. I felt a shiver run down my spine, and then, without warning, everything went black. Previously, we had received a cryptic message from a mysterious ally, leading us to the abandoned Aetherian outpost in the treacherous Undercroft. As we navigated the labyrinthine tunnels, we faced deadly seismic shifts and subterranean creatures. Our journey had just taken a mysterious turn as I felt an unseen presence watching us, and then everything went black. As I regained consciousness, I found myself in a strange, dimly lit room. The air was stale, and the silence was oppressive. I tried to sit up, but a wave of dizziness washed over me, forcing me to lie back down. I vaguely remembered the battle with the subterranean creature and the feeling of being watched. When my vision cleared, I saw that I was not alone. Lyrien and Kael were nearby, their faces etched with concern. Kaida was nowhere to be seen, but I spotted her a short distance away, tending to her gear. "Alex, can you hear me?" Lyrien asked, her voice soft. I nodded, wincing as my head spun. What happened?" I managed to stammer. "We're not sure," Kael replied, his brow furrowed. "You just collapsed." We thought you were injured, but there's nothing wrong with you physically." I glanced around the room, taking in our surroundings. We were in some sort of ancient chamber with intricate carvings on the walls. The air was thick with the scent of old dust and forgotten knowledge. Suddenly, a figure emerged from the shadows. It was an old man, dressed in tattered robes, with a staff in one hand and a book in the other. "Welcome, Alex and companions," he said, his voice low and gravelly. "I have been expecting you. My name is Archaea, and I am the guardian of this outpost." Archaea's eyes seemed to bore into my soul, as if searching for something. "You have been brought here for a purpose," he continued. "A purpose that only you can fulfill. The Aetherian outpost holds secrets and technologies that could change the course of history. But it also holds dangers, and you will need all your skills and ingenuity to overcome them." As Archaea spoke, I felt a surge of determination. We had come this far, and we would not turn back now. "What do you want from us?" I asked, my voice firm. Archaea's expression turned enigmatic. "I want to help you unlock the secrets of the outpost," he said. "But first, you must prove yourselves worthy. I will give you a task. If you succeed, I will reveal more about the outpost and its secrets. But if you fail, the consequences will be dire." Archaea handed me the book he had been holding. "Solve the subterranean dialect," he said. "It holds the key to unlocking the outpost's secrets. But be warned, the dialect is ancient and complex. You will need all your knowledge and skills to decipher it." As I took the book, I felt a sense of trepidation, but I also felt a spark of hope. We had overcome so much already, and I knew that we could overcome this challenge as well. With newfound determination, I opened the book and began to study the ancient text. The symbols and markings seemed to dance before my eyes, but I was undaunted. I knew that I had to solve the subterranean dialect, no matter what it took. As I worked, Lyrien and Kael gathered around me, offering their assistance. Kaida joined us, her eyes scanning the text with interest. Together, we pored over the book, slowly unraveling the secrets of the subterranean dialect. The hours passed, and the sun began to set, casting a warm orange glow over the chamber. And then, suddenly, it clicked. The symbols and markings fell into place, and I understood the dialect. I looked up at my companions, a grin spreading across my face. "We did it," I said, my voice filled with excitement. "We solved the subterranean dialect." Archaea emerged from the shadows, a nod of approval on his face. "Well done," he said. "You have proven yourselves worthy. Now, let me show you the secrets of the Aetherian outpost." As Archaea led us deeper into the outpost, I felt a sense of wonder and awe. We were on the cusp of unlocking secrets that could change the course of history, and I knew that our journey was far from over. But for now, I was content to bask in the glow of our triumph. We had overcome a major challenge, and we had done it together. As we walked, the darkness seemed to recede, replaced by a sense of hope and possibility. I knew that we would face more challenges ahead, but I was ready. For the first time in a long time, I felt like we were on the path to a brighter future, and I knew that nothing could stop us now. But little did we know, a new and more sinister threat was emerging from the shadows, one that would test our resolve and push us to the very limits of our endurance. The air seemed to vibrate with tension as we approached the heart of the outpost. I could feel it, a palpable sense of danger that seemed to be watching us. And then, without warning, the lights flickered and died. We were plunged into darkness, surrounded by an oppressive silence. I knew that we were not alone. And I knew that our journey was far from over. Previously, we had solved the subterranean dialect, unlocking the secrets of the Aetherian outpost, and Archaea had begun to reveal the mysteries of the ancient technology. But just as we thought we were on the path to discovery, the lights flickered and died, plunging us into darkness. As I stood frozen, my heart racing, I felt Lyrien's hand on my arm. "What's happening?" she whispered. I strained my ears, and suddenly I heard the sound of footsteps echoing through the corridors. They were light, cautious steps, but they were getting closer. "Kale, Kaida, get ready," I whispered, my eyes straining to see through the darkness. The air was thick with tension, and I could feel the weight of the outpost's secrets pressing down on us. The footsteps stopped right outside our chamber. I could sense a figure hesitating, then a faint light flickered to life. It was a small lantern, held by a young woman with piercing green eyes. She looked around nervously, then her gaze locked onto us. "Please, you have to help me," she said, her voice barely above a whisper. "The Shadowhand Clan has taken over the outpost. They're searching for something, and I think it's connected to you." I exchanged a glance with my companions. We had been expecting a confrontation with the Shadowhand Clan, but not like this. The woman, who introduced herself as Aria, explained that she had been a researcher at the outpost before the Shadowhand Clan took over. She had been hiding in the shadows, waiting for an opportunity to escape and warn others. "I know a way out," she said, "but it's treacherous. We have to move fast." As we followed Aria through the winding corridors, the air grew thick with the smell of smoke and ozone. The sound of voices and footsteps grew louder, and I could sense that we were heading straight into the heart of the Shadowhand Clan's operation. The corridors twisted and turned, leading us deeper into the outpost. We encountered a few stragglers, but Aria's knowledge of the outpost's layout allowed us to evade them. Finally, we reached a large chamber filled with ancient technology and strange artifacts. In the center of the room, I saw a massive console surrounded by a ring of candles. The console was emitting a low hum, and I could feel the energy emanating from it. Aria approached the console cautiously. "This is it," she said. "This is what the Shadowhand Clan is looking for. It's a gateway to a hidden repository of knowledge." Suddenly, the lights flickered again, and the console's hum grew louder. The air seemed to vibrate with energy, and I felt a sense of excitement mixed with fear. But as we reached out to touch the console, a voice boomed from the shadows. "You shouldn't have come here," it said. The Shadowhand Clan's leader, a towering figure with piercing blue eyes, emerged from the darkness. He was flanked by two heavily armed guards, their eyes fixed on us with cold calculation. "You're just in time to witness the activation of the gateway," the leader said, his voice dripping with malice. "And once it's online, nothing will be able to stop us." I knew that we had to act fast. We couldn't let the Shadowhand Clan get their hands on that kind of power. With a surge of determination, I charged forward, my companions by my side. The battle was on, and we were ready to fight. But as we clashed with the Shadowhand Clan, I couldn't shake the feeling that we were in over our heads. The stakes were higher than ever, and the consequences of failure were dire. In the heat of the battle, I caught a glimpse of Aria, who had slipped away unnoticed. She was working on the console, her fingers flying across the controls. Suddenly, the console erupted in a blaze of light, and the energy emanating from it surged to a fever pitch. The Shadowhand Clan's leader stumbled back, his eyes wide with shock. "You fools," he snarled. "You've activated the gateway prematurely. Now it's too late to stop it." As the gateway hummed to life, I felt a sense of wonder mixed with fear. What secrets lay beyond the gateway? And what would be the cost of unlocking them? The battle was far from over, but for now, we had to focus on survival. We had to make it through the gateway and emerge on the other side, ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. As we stepped through the shimmering portal, I felt a sense of hope and trepidation. We were on the cusp of a new adventure, one that would take us to the very limits of our endurance. But I knew that we were ready. We had come too far to turn back now. And I was confident that together we would emerge victorious, our bonds stronger than ever, and our hearts filled with a newfound sense of purpose. The gateway closed behind us, and we found ourselves in a vast, open plain. The sky was a deep shade of purple, and the air was filled with a sweet, musical hum. As we looked around, I saw that we were not alone. A figure was approaching us, walking across the plain with a confident stride. It was a woman, tall and stately, with long silver hair and piercing blue eyes. She wore a flowing white robe, and her presence seemed to radiate an aura of calm and authority. "Welcome, Alex and companions," she said, her voice like music. "I have been expecting you. My name is Elara, and I am the guardian of this realm." Elara's eyes seemed to bore into my soul as if searching for something, but I felt no sense of fear or unease. Instead, I felt a sense of wonder and awe. "What lies ahead?" I asked, my voice barely above a whisper. Elara's smile was enigmatic. "The path ahead is fraught with danger," she said, "but I sense that you are ready. You have come to a crossroads, Alex. The choices you make now will determine the course of your journey and the fate of Aetheria." As Elara spoke, I felt a sense of determination rising within me. I knew that we had overcome countless challenges to reach this point, and I was ready to face whatever lay ahead. With a newfound sense of purpose, I stepped forward, my companions by my side. We were ready to face the unknown, armed with nothing but our courage, our wits, and our unwavering determination. The journey ahead would be long and difficult, but I knew that we would emerge victorious. For the first time in a long time, I felt like we were on the path to a brighter future. And I knew that nothing could stop us now. Previously, we had stepped through the gateway and found ourselves in a vast, open plain where we met Elara, the guardian of this realm. She had warned us that the path ahead would be fraught with danger and that the choices we make now would determine the course of our journey and the fate of Aetheria. With a newfound sense of purpose, we had stepped forward, ready to face the unknown. As we walked alongside Elara, the musical hum in the air grew louder, and the purple sky seemed to deepen in color. The ground beneath our feet was soft and spongy, like a thick layer of moss, and it yielded to our steps with a gentle squelch. The air was filled with a sweet, floral scent that was both calming and invigorating. I breathed deeply, feeling the stress and tension of our previous battles begin to melt away. Elara led us to a massive crystal formation, its facets glinting in the soft light. "This is the heart of the realm," she said, her voice filled with reverence. "It holds the secrets of Aetheria's past and the key to its future." As she spoke, she reached out and touched the crystal, and it began to glow with a soft, pulsing light. Suddenly, visions began to flash before my eyes, images of Aetheria's ancient history, of its rise and fall, and of the secrets that lay hidden beneath its surface. I saw the Aetherians, a long-lost civilization that had once thrived on this planet, and their advanced technology that had allowed them to harness the power of the crystal. I saw the great cataclysm that had ravaged the planet and the remnants of the Aetherian civilization that had been left behind. The visions were disorienting, but Elara's steady hand on my arm kept me grounded. As the visions faded, I felt a sense of awe and wonder. "What does it all mean?" I asked, my mind reeling with questions. Elara's expression was solemn. "The heart of the realm holds the secrets of Aetheria's past, but it also holds a warning. The Shadowhand Clan's actions have awakened a great evil, one that threatens to destroy the balance of the planet." She paused, her eyes locked on mine. "But you, Alex, have a crucial role to play in stopping it." I felt a surge of determination. "What do I need to do?" I asked, my voice firm. Elara's eyes seemed to bore into my soul. "You must journey to the core of Aetheria, where the ancient technology that once harnessed the power of the crystal still lies. There, you will find the only thing that can stop the evil that threatens to destroy the planet." She handed me a small, intricately carved stone. "This is a map stone, one that will guide you to the core. But be warned, the journey will be treacherous, and you will face challenges that will test your courage and your wits." As I took the mapstone, I felt a sense of purpose growing within me. I knew that I had to do this, not just for myself, but for the future of Aetheria. I looked at my companions and saw the determination in their eyes. We were in this together, and we would face whatever lay ahead as a team. With Elara's guidance, we set out on the long journey to the core of Aetheria. As we walked, the landscape around us began to shift and change, the terrain growing more rugged and unforgiving. We encountered strange creatures, some of which seemed to be made of the very rock itself. But with Alara's help, we were able to navigate these challenges, and slowly but surely, we began to make progress. The journey was long and arduous, but I felt a sense of hope growing within me. I knew that we were on the path to saving Aetheria, and that together we could overcome anything. As we walked, I began to notice the small things, the way the light reflected off the crystal formations, the sound of the wind rustling through the rocks, the smell of the earthy terrain. It was a sensory feast, and I felt alive, connected to the world around me. As the sun began to set on our second day of travel, Alara led us to a small oasis. The air was filled with the sweet scent of blooming flowers, and the sound of running water was like music to my ears. We sat down on the rocks, exhausted but exhilarated, and I felt a sense of gratitude towards Alara and my companions. We were in this together, and we would face whatever lay ahead as a team. As we rested, I began to think about the journey ahead. I knew that we would face challenges, but I also knew that we had come too far to turn back now. We were on a mission to save Aetheria, and we would see it through to the end. I looked at my companions and saw the determination in their eyes. We were ready for whatever lay ahead, and we would face it together. The stars began to twinkle in the sky, and I felt a sense of peace wash over me. We were on the path to a brighter future, and nothing could stop us now. But as I drifted off to sleep, I couldn't shake the feeling that we were being watched, that unblinking eyes were trained on us from the darkness. I knew that we were not alone, and that the journey ahead would be fraught with danger. But I also knew that we were ready, that we had the courage and the determination to overcome any obstacle. And with that thought, I fell into a deep and restful sleep, ready to face whatever lay ahead. Previously, Elara's ominous warning still lingered in our minds, that the journey to the core of Aetheria would be treacherous, and that we would face challenges that would test our courage and wits. With the mapstone in hand, we had set out on the long journey, navigating through rugged terrain, encountering strange creatures, and relying on Elara's guidance to overcome obstacles. As we rested at the oasis, I couldn't shake the feeling that we were being watched. As I emerged from my tent, I noticed a figure standing at the edge of the oasis, gazing out at the vast expanse of the desert. The sun was just starting to rise, casting a warm glow over the landscape. I recognized the figure as Alara, her eyes fixed on some point in the distance. I approached her, and she turned to me, her expression serious. "Alex, I've been thinking," she said, her voice low. "The journey to the core is fraught with danger, but I believe there's more to it than just navigating through treacherous terrain. There's something or someone that's waiting for us." I felt a shiver run down my spine. "What do you mean?" Elara's eyes seemed to bore into mine. "I've sensed a presence, one that's been tracking us from the moment we set out. It's not just a creature or a natural phenomenon. It's something intelligent, something that's watching us, waiting for us to make a move." I looked around the oasis, feeling a sense of unease. My companions were stirring, preparing for another day of travel. I knew that we had to be careful, that we couldn't afford to let our guard down. As we packed up our gear and set out once more, I couldn't shake the feeling that we were being watched. I kept looking over my shoulder, expecting to see something lurking in the shadows. But there was never anything there. The terrain grew more rugged, the air thickening with an otherworldly energy. I could feel it pulsing through my veins like a second heartbeat. My companions seemed to sense it too, their faces set with determination. As we walked, the landscape shifted and changed, the rock formations growing more twisted and grotesque. I could feel the weight of the planet's history bearing down on me, the secrets that lay hidden beneath the surface. Suddenly, Ilara stopped, her head cocked to one side. "Do you hear that?" she whispered. I strained my ears, and then I heard it too, a low rumbling sound, like thunder in the distance. But the sky was clear, and I knew that it wasn't thunder. "It's seismic activity," Ilara said, her eyes locked on mine. "We're approaching a fault line. We need to be careful. The ground can be treacherous here." As she spoke, the ground began to shake, and I stumbled, catching myself on a nearby rock. My companions grabbed onto me, holding me steady. "What's happening?" one of them shouted, her voice barely audible over the growing din. Elara's face was set. "We need to find shelter, now!" We scrambled to find a safe place to hide, the ground shaking and trembling beneath our feet. I felt a wave of fear wash over me, but I knew that we had to keep moving. As we huddled together, waiting for the seismic activity to pass, I realized that this was just the beginning. The journey to the core of Aetheria would be fraught with danger, but I knew that we had what it took to overcome it. We had each other, and we had Elara's guidance. As the ground stopped shaking and the silence fell, I looked at my companions and saw the determination in their eyes. We were in this together, and we would face whatever lay ahead as a team. With a newfound sense of purpose, we emerged from our shelter, ready to face the challenges that lay ahead. The journey to the core of Aetheria was far from over, but I knew that we would make it, no matter what dangers lay in store. As we walked, the landscape began to shift and change once more, the rock formations growing more sparse. I could see a range of mountains in the distance, their peaks reaching up towards the sky. Elara's eyes were fixed on the mountains. "We're getting close," she said, her voice barely above a whisper. "The core of Aetheria lies within those mountains." But be warned, the journey ahead will be the most treacherous of all. I felt a surge of determination. We had come too far to turn back now. We would face whatever lay ahead, and we would emerge victorious. As we approached the mountains, I noticed a figure standing at the edge of the range, gazing out at us. It was a woman, her hair a wild tangle of brown locks, her eyes a piercing green. She was dressed in a pair of worn leather pants and a faded jacket with a backpack slung over her shoulder. "Who are you?" I called out, my voice carrying across the distance. The woman turned to me, a small smile playing on her lips. "My name is Lyrien," she said, her voice carrying on the wind. "I'm an explorer, and I think I can help you on your journey." I exchanged a look with Ilara and then with my companions. We had just met Lyrien, but there was something about her that seemed trustworthy. As we approached Lyrien, I noticed that she was studying us intently, her eyes lingering on each of us. "You're on a quest to reach the core of Aetheria," she said, her voice filled with excitement. "I've been searching for a way in for years. I can help you navigate the tunnels, avoid the dangers that lie within." I felt a surge of gratitude towards Lyrien. We had just met her, but she seemed to be offering us a lifeline. As we stood there, discussing our plans, I noticed a figure watching us from the shadows. It was a young woman, her hair a dark, rich brown, her eyes a deep, soulful brown. She was dressed in a pair of worn overalls, with a tool belt slung over her shoulder. "Who's that?" I asked Lyrien, nodding towards the woman. Lyrien followed my gaze. "That's Kaida," she said, her voice filled with warmth. "She's a scavenger. She's been surviving in these tunnels for years. She can help us find what we need and avoid the dangers that lie within." I felt a sense of hope growing within me. We had just met Lyrien and Kaida, but they seemed to be offering us a way forward, a chance to overcome the challenges that lay ahead. As we set out with Lyrien and Kaida, I knew that our journey was far from over. But I also knew that we had taken a crucial step forward, that we had found allies who could help us navigate the treacherous terrain ahead. The journey to the core of Aetheria would be fraught with danger, but I knew that we would face it together as a team. And with Lyrien and Kaida by our side, I felt a sense of hope growing within me, a sense that we would emerge victorious in the end. As the four of us journeyed deeper into the mountains, I realized that our bond was growing stronger. We were a team, united in our quest to reach the core of Aetheria. And I knew that together we could overcome anything. The air grew thick with anticipation as we approached the entrance to the tunnels. I could feel the weight of the planet's history bearing down on me, the secrets that lay hidden beneath the surface. But I was ready. I was ready to face whatever lay ahead, to overcome the challenges that lay in store. And with Lyrien, Kaida, Aetheria, and my companions by my side, I knew that we would emerge victorious. The journey to the core of Aetheria had just begun, but I was ready. I was ready to face whatever lay ahead, to overcome the challenges that lay in store, and I knew that together we would succeed. The darkness of the tunnels swallowed us whole, but I was not afraid. I was not afraid of the unknown, of the challenges that lay ahead. I was ready. And as we walked, the silence was broken by the sound of our footsteps echoing off the walls of the tunnel. We were a team, united in our quest to reach the core of Aetheria. And I knew that together we would overcome anything. The journey ahead would be long and arduous, but I was ready. I was ready to face whatever lay ahead, to overcome the challenges that lay in store. And with Lyrien, Kaida, Aetheria, and my companions by my side, I knew that we would emerge victorious. The fate of Aetheria hung in the balance, but I was confident. I was confident that we would succeed, that we would reach the core of Aetheria and unlock its secrets. And as we walked, the darkness of the tunnels seemed to recede, replaced by a sense of hope and determination. We were a team, united in our quest to save Aetheria. And I knew that together we would triumph. The journey to the core of Aetheria had just begun, but I was ready. I was ready to face whatever lay ahead, to overcome the challenges that lay in store. And I knew that together we would succeed. Previously, the ground had stopped shaking, and we had emerged from our shelter, ready to face the challenges that lay ahead. Aetheria had sensed a presence, one that was watching us from the shadows. We had met Lyrien, a brilliant explorer, and Kaida, a resourceful scavenger who had offered to help us navigate the treacherous tunnels ahead. As we journeyed deeper into the mountains, our bond had grown stronger, united in our quest to reach the core of Aetheria. As we walked, the air grew thick with anticipation, the silence broken only by the sound of our footsteps echoing off the walls of the tunnel. I could feel the weight of the planet's history bearing down on me, the secrets that lay hidden beneath the surface. Lyrien led the way, her eyes fixed on some point in the distance, her expression set with determination. "We're approaching a critical juncture," she said, her voice low. "The tunnel splits into 3 separate paths. We need to choose which one to take." I looked at Aetherian, who was studying the walls of the tunnel, her eyes scanning for any signs of danger. "What do you think?" I asked her. Aetherian's eyes narrowed. "I sense that the left path is unstable, the ground is shifting, and I can feel a buildup of seismic energy." Kaida shook her head. "I don't like the look of the right path. It's too exposed, and I can see signs of recent cave-ins." Lyrien nodded. "That leaves us with the center path. It's the most direct route, but it's also the most likely to be trapped." I took a deep breath, weighing our options. We had come too far to turn back now, and I knew that we had to press on. "Let's take the center path," I said, my voice firm. "We can move quickly and try to avoid any traps." As we walked, the tunnel began to narrow, the walls closing in on us. I could feel a sense of claustrophobia growing within me, but I pushed it aside. We had to keep moving. Suddenly, Kaida stopped, her head cocked to one side. "Do you hear that?" she whispered. I strained my ears, and then I heard it too, a low humming noise, like the sound of machinery. "It's a generator," Lyrien said, her eyes lighting up. "We must be close to a hidden chamber." As we rounded a bend in the tunnel, I saw a large metal door ahead of us. The humming noise was coming from the other side of the door. "It's locked," Kaida said, her voice disappointed. But Lyrien was already examining the door. "I think I can open it," she said, her eyes scanning the mechanism. As she worked, I could feel a sense of excitement growing within me. We were close to something, and I could sense that it was important. Finally, the door creaked open, revealing a large chamber filled with ancient technology. There were consoles and machines everywhere, their surfaces covered in dust and cobwebs. Lyrien let out a whoop of excitement. "This is it," she said. "This is the heart of the Aetherian outpost." But as we entered the chamber, I realized that we were not alone. A figure was standing in the shadows, watching us. "Welcome," the figure said, its voice low and menacing. "I've been waiting for you." I stepped forward, my heart pounding in my chest. "Who are you?" I demanded. The figure emerged from the shadows, its eyes gleaming with malice. "I am the leader of the Shadowhand Clan," it said, "and you are trespassing on our territory." I stood tall, my companions at my side. "We're not afraid of you," I said. The leader of the Shadowhand Clan smiled. "Well, see about that," it said. As the leader of the Shadowhand Clan raised its hand, I realized that we were in grave danger. But I also knew that we had come too far to turn back now. We would face whatever lay ahead, together as a team. The battle was intense, with the Shadowhand Clan's leader using its powers to try and overwhelm us. But we fought back, using all of our skills and strength to try and defeat it. In the end, it was just me and the leader of the Shadowhand Clan, facing off against each other. I could feel the power of the Aetherian outpost coursing through me, and I knew that I had the strength to defeat it. With a final blow, I struck down the leader of the Shadowhand Clan, and our quest was finally complete. We had reached the core of Aetheria, and we had unlocked its secrets. As we stood victorious, I realized that our journey had changed us. We had grown stronger, and our bond had grown deeper. We had faced our fears, and we had overcome them. And as we walked out of the Aetherian outpost, I knew that our future was bright. We had unlocked a new era of peace and prosperity, and we had become legends in our own right. The journey to the core of Aetheria had been long and arduous, but it had been worth it. We had discovered a new world, and we had discovered ourselves. As we emerged from the mountains, I saw a new world before me, a world of hope and possibility, and I knew that we would always stand together, ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. The sun was setting over the mountains, casting a golden glow over the landscape. I felt a sense of peace wash over me, a sense of closure. But as we walked, I realized that our journey was far from over. We had unlocked the secrets of the Aetherian outpost, but there were still many questions to be answered. What would we do with the knowledge and power that we had gained? How would we use it to build a better future for Aetheria? I looked at my companions, and I knew that we would face these challenges together. We would work together to build a brighter future, a future of hope and possibility. And as we walked off into the sunset, I knew that our legend would live on, inspiring generations to come. We had become heroes, and we would always stand together, ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. The darkness of the unknown was still out there, but I was no longer afraid. I was ready to face it, armed with the knowledge and power of the Aetherian outpost. And as I walked, the stars began to twinkle in the sky, a reminder of the infinite possibilities that lay ahead. I was ready to face them, ready to explore the unknown, and ready to build a brighter future for Aetheria. The journey had been long and arduous, but it had been worth it. We had discovered a new world, and we had discovered ourselves. And as I looked up at the stars, I knew that our journey was just beginning. We had unlocked the secrets of the Aetherian outpost, but there were still many mysteries to be solved. But I was ready. I was ready to face whatever lay ahead, armed with the knowledge and power of the Aetherian outpost. And I knew that I would always stand with my companions, ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead.